You ready for day two?
Yes.
Yes. Are you reinvigorated after a night's sleep?
I thought I would be more. I'm feeling really tired, but I'm still very excited and I'm ready to go.
Today, going into the game, who is your biggest threat you want out? And who are you feeling solid with?
On the threat thing, that's a really interesting question because I feel like solidly like the majority of the house will want Thomas to go next, but I don't feel like he's necessarily a threat to me. I feel like from my perspective and kind of talking to Oscar, it seems like Johnny, Emily, and Taylor could be threats. We're currently aligned to them, and so obviously looking to still stay aligned with them, but like cautiously, because at some point it seems like they might be people to go against Oscar and I and Piglet. This is perceptions though right now. Like Emily and Taylor and Johnny have been keeping us in the loop entirely, but Zakai was able to sway Taylor for a banked vote, I think, and I need to figure out what happened with the votes last night. Like I'm trying to remember what the breakdown was, but it seems like some people were voting differently, and I want to know who those people are. Who I'm aligned with, definitely Oscar and Piglet. Pretty much the whole house.
Okay.
No, but like that's about to fall apart because like we're about to have to get people out. I think if Thomas is in the greenhouse, that will make for a really interesting round.
So knowing now it's single digits, you can't win greenhouse back to back. Does that adjust your timeline for when you'd hope to get in the greenhouse? Or do you want to be in the greenhouse at all today?
If I were in the greenhouse like last round before the poison ivy, that doesn't count though. Like I can play this round. Or
I truly have no clue.
okay, so I'll need to ask. Yeah, I don't. I'm fine with not being in the greenhouse as long as like we get like me or Oscar, Piglet in the greenhouse. But it's like it's hard to like plan who's gonna win. So I mean I'm gonna go for the win as much as I can. I've been winning a lot of games this season, so I'm like, if I can like manifest another dub, that'd be great. Because I've been, I think, playing this game very round to round. Like, I know there's like a long game strategy. I've been focused on like just being in general trusted and respected, but I've been really focused on like making it through each round, and I've now been in the greenhouse 3 times, so that's been helpful.
My last question before we make you get warm again. What's it going to take to bring it home?
That's a good question. We're at 9. I think being very careful just in every conversation that I have. Because I think people's words have started to get to be the reason that they are voted out. So we'll see.
All right, good luck today.
Thanks.
All right, good morning, Emily. Just give us your thoughts going into day 2.
Day 2 is extremely dicey. I'm really happy to be here. I have 2 main groups, one being with Zach, Taylor, and my boyfriend Johnny, which hella surprised we're both in the game still, and also that Taylor hasn't turned on us yet. Me and Zach both have the feeling that Taylor's been drifting, and the 2 of us have neglected our one-on-ones with her, and we've seen her get close to Zakai and Blythe, and now she's looking towards Thomas. And so the question is, I didn't want her to know that Johnny and I were dating. Johnny thought it was so smart to tell her, but now she's like the alliance member that's waning. And so for me, it's like, do I risk her leaking it on her own, or do I nominate her and have her leak it then? And I feel like it's better to wait, but I would also like to try to influence my ally, Piglet, to put Taylor up so that I don't have to deal with that. My other main group I'm working with is Piglet, Oscar, and Elise. Oscar and Elise are tighter, and then me and Piglet are closer. There seems to be whispers of wanting to get Oscar out with the Venus flytrap today because people don't think they're going to be able to get him out just by putting him next to someone. Like, they think he's going to survive his first time on the block. Specifically, Johnny had the idea, and for me, I just think he has my back more than some of the other people we're working with. So Johnny's holding 2 of my tokens right now, but if like he uses that to pool for Venus flytrap in one of these rounds, I'm going to be really upset. Especially if Taylor's still in the game and we use it. There's also concern that Elise and Oscar might be pooling to flip the game a little bit too, because they've been really tight. But in my opinion, I'm okay with the game flipping. This is day 2. We're not supposed to have like a side-by-side thing. This is the greenhouse, and we're all here to play individual games now. I bet everyone has relationships. Everyone has someone that's targeting him. Thomas is probably coming for me. I started Poison Ivy last night with him, which was 1, because all my other relationships, I didn't want to nominate them, but 2, because he's the person, and I've been telling other people, he's working everybody. He's not telling you what he thinks, he's telling you what he thinks you want to hear, which is great gameplay. That's sometimes what I'm doing, but I think his is easier to tell, and I'm hoping people see that and someone else will nominate him, but I'm having a feeling that I might need to get in the greenhouse to do it myself. Especially because Johnny's been working closely with Thomas. So it's literally, everything's layered so insane that like every time you're going to pull one thread, you're going to tie another knot somewhere else. So the question is like, do I care more about my string or my alliance's strings? And at the end of the day, it's about me. I want to go to the end with either Zach or Piglet. Those are my guys, and I love them dearly. I think that having Johnny at the end with me would be horrible. I think I would lose to him because he's played a much better social game, and people tend to blame women for couples, not the men. And I'm worried that if it comes out that Johnny and I are dating, I'm going to be the one on the chopping block, not Johnny. So the question is, how do I mitigate that? I have to keep Elise and Taylor close because they're also women. Maybe they would see some of that. Taylor's closer to Johnny, though. See, do you see this? I have drawn a web so complex that not even Black Widow can navigate it. And I'm just literally wigging out a little bit because I feel like I'm not at the top of the power rankings here. I feel like I am a good like 4th, 5th in the power rankings. If people like, we're doing a podcast and like, oh, who's going to win Greenhouse 6? I don't think you're saying me, but I'm going to tell you that I'm fighting to make it me because I'm here to play. I'm here to cause chaos. During Poison Ivy, like everyone was asking me to start with Matt, and I was like, but why don't we get Matt out instead? Because why have it be the same person, people over and over and over again on the block? People should be playing individual games and nominating the people that are worse for their games instead of hiding relationships at this point. So I'm hoping things will get exposed, and I'm going to see clear like what alliances I'm not aware of as I nominate and throw out names, because today is about throwing out names and seeing if people like have hesitations or if they are on board.
Thank you.
So, made it to day 2. That's good. I'm at the point where I think I genuinely have a game-working relationship with every person that's left. And I think the people that could, in theory, be seen as on the bottom are people that I have really strong ties to as well. What I need to focus on today is Taylor, because Emily is very afraid that she's going to expose our secrets sooner than we would like it to, and as long as she continues to believe that I am her number 1, she should have no reason to turn on me. And I really do see Taylor as my number 1 outside of Emily, but I don't want to get too like overconfident on that. I'm also trying to workshop Oscar for that. I have a lot of deals that I'm not sure I'm going to totally follow through on. But one of them with Oscar is that the first time either of us is on the block, we will do everything we can to help the other survive. He has banked votes, I have banked votes. I will follow through on my end if he gets nominated first, in hopes that if I go up against Emily or something of that nature, he will use his banked votes to make sure that I'm good. And then I have a really great relationship with Elise. I think at the end of the day, I just have a lot of relationships that today could get messy, but if people turn on me, it gives me an enemy and it gives me a reason to do stuff. If I were to win an early greenhouse today, which I'm not sure I want to, I still don't know who I dominate. Honestly, I think I'd probably take a big swing depending on who's in the greenhouse with me, and if it's not someone I'm as close to, I'd probably nominate Josh.
Which Josh? Or Josh?
Not Piglet Josh.
Okay.
Yeah. So That's kind of where I sit. I think I'm playing one of those, like, has a social relationship with everybody and doesn't know what to do, so I have to throw comps kind of game, which is not a game that I think is, like, well admired, but I don't think it'll stay that way for a long time. But I did have to come out really hot yesterday at a certain point to make sure that me and my people made it to today, and that the people that were against me got taken out. And I do think that there were some people that really wanted me out of the game that are not in the game anymore. The question is, did that trickle over to today? And I guess only time will tell. I'm probably not going to try to win this first greenhouse, depending on who's in the lead. But I think a lot of people have a lot of targets that are not myself. That the only way I think I would get targeted this first round, or even the second round, is if people find out about the Johnny Emily secret, and then it's like, you know, we're going to go ballistic. But I think that's it. I have no piece. I have, like, very few seeds. Two of them, I have 3 seeds total, so that's not few, but 2 of them belong to Emily, and she's just letting me hold them. And in theory, I can't let those seeds go without Emily reaping the benefits of them. So, like, if she needs the seeds, I have to give her the seeds, which is going to be annoying because people are going to be like, how'd she get the seeds? But I will just say I was holding on to seeds for her. And then I have 1 banked vote, and I'm going to hopefully use that banked vote with this deal I have with Oscar, so that way the first time I'm on the block, I have an insurance policy of a person that is willing to use banked votes on me. Do I trust him fully? I'm not sure. He gives me the impression, Oscar gives me the impression of a person that I can trust, but, like, is playing way more angles than he would ever let on to me, and the question just is where I sit on his priority rating. And I think he knows I'm a big player, but I think he knows I want to play with him. And with the deal that I made with him about us both going on the block, because we're the only 2 people, I think, that haven't been on the block yet, it gives us a good reason to stick together. So all I need is to appeal to people's selfishnesses. And if I do that, I should be fine. My big goal today is once I get on the block, I just want to survive. I don't even need the uproot. I want to survive a vote. Because I think that's a good resume builder. And I haven't been on the block yet, but if I go a long portion of today without being on the block, I also won't be mad. So I think there's a chance that Oscar goes up before me and that I could be the last person nominated this season, which would be kind of sweet. But that's not winning the game, so gotta figure out how to do that. I think today's gonna be tricky. If I were to give myself a confidence rating on how much I think I could win the game, I'd give it like a 3. But I do think I'm in a good position. I just think I'm eventually going to get blown up. So I got to figure out throughout the day how to avoid getting blown up, but I think I'm an adaptable player that could get my way out of it. So it's going to be a crazy day. And that's what next time on Glee.
All right, good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Greenhouse.
How are we feeling going into day 2?
We are a little warmer than yesterday. I am excited to play with the remaining players today. See what unfolds. Things kind of went not crazy, but just not as some people had planned towards the end of yesterday. And so I'm really excited to see how some people are looking to shape their game today.
So going into day 2, what's your plan?
To win. That's the plan. The plan is to win. And giving away anything else might prohibit me from that. So.
To me? Right now?
Yeah.
Why?
Mainly because I don't know what I'm going to do. But all I know is the end point.
Alright, who's your closest ally right now?
My closest ally was eliminated at the very end of the night last night. And so I'm reevaluating. But right now I think that either Oscar or Piglet could be a really good asset to my game.
Alright. We'll see how it goes. Anything else to say?
No.
Alright, thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Alright, so talk to us. How are you feeling going into day 2?
I feel great, but I want to give you like a soundbite or something. It's a brand new day in the greenhouse, and it's time to play the game. I feel great of all my decisions last night and throughout the day. I feel like I'm very solid in between some of the groups. And I know that since it's fewer of us now, it's about to get crazy, and you have to be you have to have at least your number one. For me, it is Elise, but I also know that Elise wants to win as all of us. And she's a very seasoned player for what I can tell. So my strategy now is to start switching from her, because at the end of the day, Elise is gonna look for herself, and I have to look for myself. Oh, he's purring. Hi, cutie. My ideal final three will be me, Elise, and Josh.
Which Josh?
Not Piglet. I haven't talked with Piglet as much as I would want, but I also don't wanna, just like I'm talking with Elise and with Josh, I don't wanna have even a third person that's gonna be like, wait, he told me the exact same thing, just in case. So I just wanna keep it very casual and on the low. And yeah, I'm gonna rely on Elise and Josh and Piglet as a top 4 for like whatever decisions that we have to make. At the end of the day, my ideal is gonna be go to the end with Josh, and then from there I know that he's so sweet and so what am I trying to say? He's ripe. Is that the word? Like the fruit is not developed yet.
The opposite of ripe, like
Yeah.
not ripe.
So what's the word for that?
I don't know.
He's so sweet, but he's not as an experienced player. I feel like if I go against him in front of the jury, I will have more to sell myself as a strong competitor versus him. Because I know if it's me against Elise, she has the advantage. I think she's more experienced than me. And yeah, I love you, Elise, but it's time to play the game.
It is a bright and beautiful day in the greenhouse, and yesterday was an interesting day full of crazy twists and turns. I feel like the people who I really wanted to work with all went home in like sequential order. So we had Kareem go home, we had Rita go home. I think it was Alex after that, but I wasn't really too like confident in Alex. But I think today I need to start to rein in who do I really want to take with me to the top. I feel like I have a pretty wide cast net right now. I'm basically working or have worked with everyone in the game except for hold on. I gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Sick of these bitches, girl. Ooh, okay. I basically have worked with about everyone in the game except for Thomas, I would say, which is good. I actually don't want to work with Thomas because if I get Greenhouse next or in the round after that, that would be a nom that I would put up. No harm, no foul, just because we haven't really had like too many chances to really strategize. But everyone else I've worked with, which is kind of dangerous. So I think yesterday I was playing more of like a passive game, and if I really want to make it to the top, I need to start playing more of an active game, because I feel like I can easily be seen as a potential floater. But I mean, I had some pretty good things happen for me, like winning the first group challenge, getting immunity because of that, getting 2 seeds because of that. I believe I got 2 seeds because of the seed challenge that we had upstairs with the timer. I believe I did. Let's see what else. I got Matt's banked vote without even trying. He just passed me his banked vote. Did not use it on him. And then I got Emily to use her blocked vote on me so that I have another banked vote. So I have 2 banked votes and I believe 5 seeds. I could be wrong. So that puts me in a good spot, but I want to try to hold on to my balance that I have, because I know that top 4 is just around the corner, and if I want to make it to that final 3, I need to make sure that I have quite a bit of leverage for myself. So hopefully I don't have to use any of my seeds. I got really lucky that I didn't have to use my uproot. To be quite honest with you, I was pretty confident that I didn't have to use my uproot, but I just still wanted to put the feelers out there so that I didn't get got. And I don't think people have even really talked about, as far as I know, I don't think people have really been talking about me getting 0 votes. And if I saw someone on the block with 2 other nominees and they got 0 votes, I easily would put a target on that person's back. And as far as I know, that hasn't happened. So hopefully I can continue to just steer clear of all of that. I think people who I do like working with is Oscar and Elise, because I don't have to put too much energy into those relationships. And I'm covering myself with Taylor, Josh, and Emily, and also Johnny too. But Johnny's such a good player, I can see him winning. Like, if there's someone else, I could definitely see him winning. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes today. Fingers crossed that I'm able to pull it out, and that hopefully I can minimize the amount of blood I get on my hands. Since I haven't been in the greenhouse yet, I do want to get a greenhouse opportunity, especially this round or the following. But yeah, stay tuned.
Good morning. I feel like up until this point of the game, I have really never felt unsafe. Whether I had, I have just never felt unsafe. Why are you looking? Are there
Just to make sure
players?
people aren't coming close.
You think people can hear me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, again. Up until this point of the game, I just truly feel like I've never felt unsafe, whether I have had safety or greenhouse power or not. I haven't nominated anyone up till this point, which has kind of been intentional because people have been turning things upside down in this game really quickly. I did lose a few soldiers along the way. I didn't ever put myself so far in line for others to where I felt like it would put a target on my back, which as these numbers dwindle, we will see if that royally bites me in the ass. But yeah, I look forward. We're at top 9. I feel pretty closely aligned to a lot of people. These definitely weren't the people I was wanting to get to this point with, but I have been trying to do my best to just really tell probably everyone that we are really good. I try and give them that reassurance because especially in live games, I feel like as soon as you stop giving the reassurance, that's where trouble starts. I will say if the people that I am nervous about, if they were in greenhouse and I'm not, would be Elise, Josh, and maybe even Oscar. I walked up to Oscar like round 1 and was like, you're my person, but I feel like we consistently miss each other each round in the scramble. And so I just don't know where his head's at. I feel like maybe that will be offset by the fact that I am pretty close with Piglet, who I think is also really close with Oscar. I've been doing what I can to reassure Piglet literally everything, so I think that Piglet really trusts me. My only fear with that is I don't know where Elise falls in that mix and whether she's like higher than me at this point to them or not. She's a wild card. We're always like, haha, we're good, but like, I don't know what she would do. She really doesn't owe me anything at this point. And then Josh. Josh is someone who I feel like we've always said we're good. I think we're working with the same people, but he has said twice to me, once in a group setting or not, about how good of a position I am in. And that is like music to my ears, but also like a fucking death note at the same time, because he could just easily say that to other people because he's been like, I don't even think anyone's looking at you. Like, multiple people have said that, and as soon as people connect those dots, it's like a severe problem. And so I just, I think I need to clock him before he has a chance to clock me. So if I won Greenhouse, he would be one of my noms. Hopefully execute it as well, because I think that'd be really bad if he didn't go. I do think that he's in a spot where he could go up by multiple people. I just hope he does not try and drag my name when that happens. And last but not least, I feel, so last night I did vote out Thomas and I did vote out Blythe, 2 votes that I am denying. The Blythe vote has caused so much chaos, but no one thinks it's me. I just truly cannot vote her after a speech like that. And as far as the Thomas vote, I felt so horrible about like going with the Kiara vote, even because I thought I had to. So I was just like, honestly, I don't care. I don't want to do that to Z. So I did not vote her out. Someone else didn't either. I'm not sure who it was. I think possibly it could have been Emily. Not sure on that. But I'm glad she didn't go out unanimously. She had 2 votes. And then lastly, my path forward to the end, I don't know, I'm pretty adaptable, so I don't really care how it goes. I really do want Emily to go. Everyone just feels so comfortable with her and like does not see it as a problem, which sounds like the same spot I'm in, and so there can only be one of us in that kind of spot, and so I really think she needs to go, which is why I threw the vote on her. And if I need to, I will tell people that her and Johnny are in a relationship. Thomas told me he wants to go to 4/5. He keeps switching it up, but he also includes Emily in that 5. So I need to start planting seeds on her. He is sus of Piglet and Oscar, and Elise kind of getting real comfy and protected. So we'll see. I think today's gonna be crazy, but I'm gonna do what I do and start shit and save my ass.
Who do you think's in the strongest position in the game?
Aside from me, I think that the person in the strongest position would be, I think it could be Emily. The only reason I don't say someone like Piglet or Oscar is because I think eyes are on them, that people are like, oh, they are protected. I also think it could be Josh, but like Josh is also like in a bad position unless people make some moves, and I think he'd be in a good position. But I do think it's Emily because no one seems to see what she's doing, and she's always doing the most and like trying to call the shots. I see it, and if other people don't see it, I don't know how, but yeah, I'll say Emily.
Your thoughts on the day?
Fuck.
Yeah. If anything changed from last night.
Okay, so I do want to know who voted for me, but also, like, I'm ready to bury that hatchet because I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I was definitely, like, so wigged out by the end of the night that, like, I know that I was scrambling. I was doing a little bit too much in the, like, pitching arena instead of just, like, being confident with the people that I was with. And, like, just trusting. Because I think that can make people kind of, like, or like, ooh, he's acting, ooh, like it makes people uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable. Today, I have an idea of like a final 5 that I would like, that I could see myself potentially getting all the way to the end with and like whooping their asses. But that requires that final 5 having the ability to like win competitions. So I'm actually being pretty flexible about it because there's some really, really good competitors here when it comes to these competitions. I feel like I've proven myself a little bit, but we also all saw that first competition, so I can't say too much. At the end of the day, numbers. It's time for fucking numbers. I am weary of the amount of opportunity that there's going to be for banked votes and seeds. I do have a couple seeds, I think. I hope. And I'm just thinking about that 4 position when we have to like do our little like cutie bid or vote thing where your vote for your seed turned to, anyways. I'm thinking about that. So I'm thinking about those kinds of numbers, and I'm thinking about not even at this point who I want by my side because I think that there's like no control over that. But like making sure that whoever's in power is someone that I do feel comfortable with. I think Johnny and I are doing really good. I think Taylor and I are doing really good. Taylor doesn't seem to be winning any comps, though I'm happy. She did win with me whenever I was a flower, so let me like not say that she's not a winner. But I haven't seen her like really being forward about things like that. Elise scares me. I think she's very good. I think that we're both on each other's radar. But I hope and I would wish that we could just go together. But I don't see her taking that route. I can see it in her eyes. I like Oscar, but I feel kind of the same way. I don't know how he feels about me. Other than that, I like Zach. Zach has my back. I have his. And then Emily I'm feeling out. Josh and No Piglet, I just don't have, like, we kiki. And that's literally just it. We kiki. So, I don't know, a lot of different thoughts here in the morning. Pretty jumbled thoughts. There are thoughts, but there's a lack of articulation today. We're gonna drink this latte. Is how we really feel. Okay. Oh, you want me to? It's fucking hot. It's so good.
Alright, it's the morning of day 2 of the game. I got like 5 hours of sleep, but I'm running on it, and we're living with it. I don't think I did a lot of confessionals day 1. There may be a total of like 5 minutes of me in the confessional booth, so I'll just kind of go over what happened so far. I think I have... I need to look at a sheet for... So, me, Johnny, and Emily started making a sheet of what's happened each round, just so we have that kind of in record, because on our own I think we all forgot, and we know that there's likely to be a trivia challenge coming up. The first round, I think I talked about, I grabbed the tulip because I wanted a spot in the greenhouse and I wanted my presence to be known, but I didn't want to overextend by nominating somebody, because nominating that early, I believe, is a curse. On the other hand, if you have a tulip, you're blocking votes. I kept saying, by blocking votes, I'm helping somebody. You want to be blocked early. And that also helped me to, have my foot in the door and solidify allies. Early on, in the round 1, I was able to solidify a 4 alliance with Emily, Johnny, and Taylor, and that is run throughout the rest of the game. Will I stay loyal to that? I think it might be best to. Simply because at 4, I think they give it to me. I think Taylor goes for me, and I think Johnny and Emily either go for each other or go for me. And I don't think I'm the one that goes there regardless. I could be wrong about that, but, but we're so close to actually being at that 4. The goals for today are, first of all, win. But if I can't win, make top 5. And when I make top 5, beat that 5 curse put in place by Abrielle. I don't know. That's what I've been looking for this entire time. I was worried I was going to be first boot, but here I am. The Rita round, I remember I had a significant hand in that one, just because it was Rita against Zakai, and at that moment in time, Zakai was a lot closer to me, and I felt like Rita was a more passive player who had already picked who she wanted to work with. And I could be wrong with that, but that's just the vibes I got off. But obviously, as the tulip, normally you can't do too much early on to change the course of the game, but I believe by blocking Thomas and Matt's votes, I was able to secure the votes on Rita, just because it was literally a last-minute scramble to save Zakai. Up until then, I think it was probable that Zakai was going. In Alex's round, I didn't really have much power, but I had people in power that I was good with, so I was never worried about getting nominated. There was one moment where I went for immunity, and I didn't want to scare anybody with that, because going for immunity sends the signal, okay, he doesn't trust me. The only reason I went for immunity is because I knew that Thomas wanted to go after Matt, and I saw Matt staring at his phone, and I'm like, okay, if I can block Matt from getting immunity, that's an easy nominee on the table. That's one less spot that I can take on the block. So I went and did that, and I remember talking in the confessional that round, I was like, man, I don't think it's possible, but I really hope that Alex somehow ends up going here. And then she did the dumbest thing imaginable. She goes around, there was first a conversation in the house where she was like, I'm worried about Blythe. And, was she valid? Absolutely. But she showed her cards too fast, because after doing that, she went around telling more people, and that spread very quickly that she was hoping that Matt got the uproot, so it would be her against Blythe. And that kind of set off, I wouldn't say a war, more of a battle between Alex, or the people perceived to be around Alex, and the people perceived to be around Blythe. And that resulted in Alex going, which was my primary target from the very start of the game. I think Alex was able to get her foot in the door and get people connected. I think she just played way too hard, way too fast. Kiara's round, which I still feel bad about. I didn't focus as much on relationships, which is bad on my part. I focused more on the seed hunt, which I didn't spend long on, and I still feel like shit about because Oscar and Elise were genuinely trying, and I just walked up to Holly and counted numbers, like, but thankfully I did that because I needed the seeds literally the round after. But the Kiara round, I think we all knew, at least my alliance going in, that Kiara needed to go because taking out Matt that round was useless, and Piglet was a non-factor. Which in this day, I feel like it's important to look at the people that have to go and figure out what order I want them to go with, but I'll come back to that. Kiara was the best movement to go for Blythe because we felt that Blythe was starting to get a lot of momentum. I don't think she had too much momentum at that point because there were more people against her than with her. But it's good to have that number one target in front of everybody because that keeps the target off of me. So we took out Kiara, and then the next round was probably the most vulnerable I've felt this entire game. First, because I was nominated, and second, because my position was exposed. Up until this point, I was firmly with Johnny, Emily, and Taylor, but I was also heavily mingling with the other side. I was making sure that I was in everybody's best graces up to this point, and sorry, I just saw that. I think someone's coming. I was trying my best to be in everybody's graces, but then Blythe goes around saying I'm playing the middle, which, was it obvious I was playing the middle? Absolutely. I mean, compare notes once, and it's like, okay, Zach's talking to everybody. He is not showing his cards, simply because I hadn't had to up until that point. But that did result in me being nominated, but once I was nominated, I was pretty sure I could get myself off the block, simply because when I talked to Emily, I had a stronger case in why I needed to get off that block. If I stayed up against Emily, I'm not so sure that I would have stayed, but if I was up against Blythe, that would have been a different story. But that unfortunately resulted in 3 of my seeds, the only seeds I got in the game other than my starting one, going bye-bye. But with Blythe going that round, the person that threw my name out as a target left swiftly. Not Zakai, but Blythe, as a talking point. Having Blythe goes there ceases any conversation of my name in a negative light, and I feel like that was the best for me in this game, because after that, obviously people are still talking about me. That's inevitable. I'm not going to hear every conversation, but it's coming around a lot less, and if it did come around, I have enough people and enough places that I would hear about it sooner than later. After that was the auction round. So I was really hoping to get more here, but honestly kind of glad I didn't because it would have shown my cards a bit more. But I was very happy to pull up with a rose here because with somebody nominating me the round before, I had a very obvious target. So I was able to put somebody up without putting too much blood on my hands. So I nominated Zakai there, and it was, I don't know what happened, really, that vote, because I wasn't a voter, but everything just happened in a whirlwind, and it ended up with Matt going home, which was fine. Matt was an amazing talker and needed to go sooner than later. I was honestly, at that point, between Matt and Zakai. Either one goes, and then the next one goes in the Poison Ivy. But she leaves there, and then next round is Poison Ivy. Emily has it. She puts up Thomas, which keeps them at odds, which is something I need. Everybody else can be at odds while I sit here chilling. But Thomas, Zakai, and Elise, thank God, had to use some of her mountain of seeds that everyone knows she has to get herself off the block, even though, actually no, if she stayed on the block, I would have pushed for that hard, and she probably would have left. So good on her for doing that. But in that round, it really didn't matter which of the two left for me because I had ins with both of them. Me and Thomas have talked a decent amount throughout the game, and I feel like we have a decent level of trust. And Zakai was very openly targeting Elise. And me and Zakai had that moment upstairs. We were like, we could work together. We could watch each other's backs. And cliche, I know, but nobody would expect that. Just because we've been at odds, butting heads for the past few rounds. But ultimately, my vote didn't matter. I did vote to save Zakai just because out of principle and thinking ahead to jury, I feel like she will respect me saying to her face, I am not voting you, and then sticking to that. Even though I did throw a hinky vote on her round 1 and she still doesn't know who did that, I'm excited to reveal that because do I think it was an amazing game move? Probably not, but it helped stir some paranoia, and that's exactly what you want early in the game. My goal of being in the round 2 or 3 greenhouse didn't happen, but I always had people in there who was. I haven't been in the greenhouse that much, and I feel like as we get later into the game, it becomes more and more important to get your foot in the door. I don't want to overextend or show my cards too early just because I have enough people in enough different places that are trusting of me. Going through the list still here, Josh is probably my most dangerous person, but I also don't think anybody's super close to Josh. I think he's kind of an unknown factor. Emily, one of my ride or dies. Hypothetically, I would want the final 3 to be me, Emily, and Taylor. Do I think I win there? Who knows? I think it'd be a highly competitive final 3, and I think it'd come down to speeches, which honestly I could see Taylor winning, but I rarely choose loyalty in these games, and I think this is the one time I'm going to do it. And you know, if somebody gets Venus flytrapped along the way or something like that, then rest in peace. But Elise, I have a decent working relationship with, but I need her gone. I think everybody needs her gone, and everybody knows it. I don't think she has to go immediately just because of that fact, but sooner or later, she has to get rid of her seed deposit. I also think Josh might have... No, Josh doesn't have that big of a seed deposit because he has had to use Uproot 3 different times, which, iconic. You go, never staying on the block, even though I don't think anybody was ever voting for you. Oscar, I feel okay with Oscar. You know, I love him, he's great, but I feel like he's closer with other people. I feel like his closest person is Johnny. But at the same time, I think Johnny wants him out. So we'll see if that comes to a head. I don't think I'm going to be the one pulling the first move there. Johnny, I also feel very great with. We've had a very open relationship throughout this game. Not open relationship. You know what I mean. But we've had a very strong game relationship. Whenever one of us has information, or we usually tell it to each other, I keep a decent amount of game information to myself in retrospect. More than... Actually, no, I think I keep the exact amount of game information to myself. Piglet is not another blind spot, but he's kind of close. I feel like me and him have talked a lot, but there's nothing solid there. Actually, I lied. The end of last night, Josh, Taylor, and Piglet, we were all in a room, and we realized the green team from round 1 is still all here, and for some reason that was a indicator of we should work together. So if that actually is a thing, which I'm doubtful of, but maybe people will look out for each other, that's another 4 that I have, and another 4 with Taylor, which gives another reason to potentially get Taylor out in a Final 4 situation. But that's something I'm going to have to ponder all day.
Sorry.
Taylor, another Final 2 of mine. I feel like she's trying to look for different avenues. And the best thing for me is to cut those avenues off. That's why, even though I wasn't the one that did it, Zakai leaving was very good because it felt like she was starting to look in Zakai's direction as somebody to work with. Even if she wasn't, she was starting to help Zakai a little bit, and that's something I don't want. I want my alliance mates to have not too much places to go, And if they have places to go, I want them to cut them off. That's how I'm feeling with Johnny and Oscar. If he can take out Oscar early on, cool. That's just one less ally for him. Thomas, I drove him. I feel like that was a starting relationship, as dumb as it is. I don't think he has anywhere to go. Like, he's all by himself on a little island. I think at the drop of a hat he could have went last night. And he may be forming something more solid. We will see as the day progresses, but I feel like I can still have a decent hand in Thomas's pocket and use him as a valuable ally when time comes. I'm hoping he goes around 6, just as a random number. And then Zach, Icon, Slay. But I feel like I am decently insulated in this final 9, but not to the point where I'm very clearly in everybody's pocket. I have some relative blind spots in this group that, do I think they would nominate me? I don't know. I feel like everybody wants to take a big shot, and I don't think people view me as a big shot just because I haven't been in the greenhouse that much. I haven't nominated that much. In other people's eyes, all I've really done is uproot myself and been kind of in the middle for a little bit. But I think I'm in a good place right now. Do I think I'm going to win? I don't know. I don't have a great track record with finals, but if I make it there, I'm going to try my damnedest. And yeah, let's see if I can break the 5th place curse. That's about all I got.
Good luck.